Alright there folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Pleasure to see you, as always. Hope we're all doing good. We've got a few more games we need to touch on today over in Holland and the States. Only the 4 matches in Dallas, but that's alright. We're not going to waste too much time on these games today. It's still round 1. Before we get into them, like the video, if you would, get yourself subscribed if you're not. 10 more, that's all I need. Who's it going to be? Do me a favour, do yourself a favour. If you want to support the channel, links in the description and the pinned comments. I can't believe this, but I actually forgot to mention the other day we received another donation from, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was a Johnny Sutton or other, but there's one in the chat. If it's the one I'm thinking of, I don't want you thinking I forgot about you, so I appreciate that, mate. It means a lot. But yeah, we'll just get into these games, innit? Before we get into them, I'm sure I'm coming down with a cold or some sort of plague, but if I sound like shit, you're just going to have to bear with me. I do apologise. But we're going to start off in Rotterdam. Seems these are the first ones, and then we'll go over to Dallas. So first off, we've got a fairly decent one, in my opinion. Yuri Lehechka, Alexei Popyrin, heads ahead, is 1-0 to Popyrin. We remember this was last year in Cincinnati, was it? Oh, Miami, bastard. I knew it was one of them. Straight sets, hard court, 6-4, 6-4. Ain't been too good this year, has he? Last time out we seen him against Corentin Moutet in the Australian Open. First round of the Australian Open 2. Ended up getting beat 3-1. And I'm pretty sure we took Alexei Popyrin against Matteo Arnaldi, didn't we, in Brisbane? First tournament of the season, and he looked terrible against him too. Yuri Lehechka. So, the head-to-head would suggest otherwise, but if you're asking me, I don't see a world where Alexei Popyrin beats him tomorrow. I really don't. He's been absolutely flying so far. To start his year off, he did win the title in Brisbane, as we all know. We watched all of that. And then he had a fairly decent Australian Open until he bumped into Djokovic. I always say there's no shame in getting beat by the best whatsoever. And then he won a game in the Davis Cup right after that. So just the one loss for Yuri Lehechka this year. And if you're going to have one, Djokovic, it's probably the best one to have in it. One of them anyway. I think he does, Alexei Popyrin, I really do. 1.4, if you can get him at 1.4, I'd say stick that on your parlay. It's a weird one with Popyrin, innit? I mean, we know what he's capable of. Remember the Masters in the summer last year? And I can't remember which one he won, but he was fantastic in one of them over the summer. No one expected that, so we know what he can produce on the day. I feel like if I'm going to start taking Popyrin in any way, I do need to see a little bit more this season. So it'd be Yuri Lehechka in that one, or nothing. Next one, we've got David Goffin, Alex de Minaur, easiest one of the day. Well, joint easiest with one we'll get to in a sec, but yeah, and de Minaur, 1.1, heads to heads, 5-0. And I'm pretty sure, I keep doubting myself. I have got these written down in my notes. I just like to check just in case I've had a brain fart along the way or whatever. But he did beat him in Rotterdam last year, 6-3, 6-1. Pure annihilation. And pretty much every other game since that, I mean, prior to that, has been annihilation too. 6-2, 6-2 Davis Cup. Bageled 6-3 in Rotterdam again in 2022. You know what I mean? Bageled him in 2019. I don't think you could make an argument for taking David Goffin anyway in this match. I really don't. I mean, look, it's a long shot. If you want to take him on the spread or whatever, then, best of luck to you. But, there's no way. No chance. That's what you got, as Vince McMahon would say. We'll move on to Bublik and Jakub Mensah head to head. It is 1-0 to Bublik. That was a very tight game over in Wimbledon last year, 3-2 to Bublik. Getting Mensah at 1.4. Now, who did we see Mensah play? When was the last time we seen him play? Was it Australian Open? Who did he get? Oh, he got beat by Guile, didn't he? Did he? He did, yeah. He won the first two sets against Guile, just like Felix did the game before, and he ended up shitting it away. Ah, considering how much that performance put me off taking Felix Auger-Aliassime, even though he's just won that title. The same stands for Mensah, it really does. He's fairly decent, we know what we're going to get. He's had some decent wins already this year. Got beat by Gio in Auckland, ended up beating Ben Shelton 2-1. Beat Casper Ruud in the Australian Open, and then obviously beaten by Davidovich Fokina, as we have just mentioned. Now, even though it was a very easy pick to make, we took advantage of Bublik's bad form against Kovacevic, didn't we? Getting him as a dog price. I'm still happy about that. Easy money. He's only beat Dominic Kepfer, which, that's... I don't really know how to feel about that. It's like he should be beating him, but the form he's in, he's barely beating anyone, so I don't know. Maybe Dominic Kepfer's just playing worse. If this was anyone else, I'd be very, very concerned for Jakob Mensah, only because I don't know what he's going to be like after the Australian Open. We haven't seen him since. He's had plenty of time off, don't get me wrong, but like I said, I can't take this. If you're taking any of these checks, I'd take Yuri Lehechka before I took Jakob Mensah, even though if you're going to beat anyone, it's the third, well, it'd be the 4th of Feb when this comes out. On this current day on the tour, if you're going to beat anyone, it's probably going to be Alexander Bublik in it, so it would have to be Jakob Mensah in that one for me. Got Rublev and Shang. Rublev a massive favourite again. Another massive favourite again. Didn't we take Kovacevic plus the points against Rublev? We sure did, and he ended up beating him in straight sets. Easy work. Rublev had kind of I'm not going to say a cakewalk until he bumped into Kovacevic in the semis, but he did play Christopher Eubanks, and then Basilashvili ended up retiring against him. Still not good, is he? He's still not trustworthy, but the only solace he's got in this one is Shang's not playing that good either. Zhang's bang out of form. He got beat by Holger Rune. Very close one with Holger Rune in the Australian Open, I'll give him that. Ended up getting beat by El Chapo, beat by Taylor Fritz, and beat by Zverev. I tell you what, they're not bad beats, them, Looking at it with all the losses, it doesn't look good, but Zverev, Fritz, Rune, El Chapo, probably wouldn't have expected him to win any of them anyway, I'm being honest with you. I know the El Chapo one seems to be the only outlier, but even the way he was playing towards the end of last season and the way we expected him to play coming into this, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just need to see more from Rublev. I'm not going to go on about it, because like I said, every time we talk about him, it tends to lean more towards the negative side, doesn't it? And I hate doing that. I don't know about you, but I really, really like Rublev. I think he's a really good player. I wouldn't go as far to say he's one of my favourite players, but I really enjoy watching him. I do like him, and I'm still very hopeful. I said it at the start of the season, and he hasn't really got off to a good start, nonetheless. But I'm still hopeful. There's something, isn't there? There's something that he needs to get rid of, and he'll be fine. But until then, I can't go near him. At this price, 1.2, like I said, it's roughly the same as what he was against Kovacevic, and I said no chance. No, sir. So I wouldn't be betting on Zhang plus the points. Rublev really, really should be winning this one. If he can't beat Zhang, then something's up. That's very foreboding if you ask me, so I'm not going to waste any more time on that one. I'm expecting Rublev to win, nothing else. Pedro Martinez is playing Batista Agut. I'm not going to say I don't care about this one, but head-to-head's 3-0 for Martinez. For those that care, he is a decent dog, 2.5 as it stands currently. Batista Agut, quite a decent favourite. I don't know. Two Spaniards going at it in Holland on the indoor hard courts. This is a fucking toss a coin, and it heads for Pedro and tails for Roberto. It's that's the way it's going to be on that one. We've got Carlos Alcaraz, Botic van der Sandschulp. Remember the last time these two played? I try my best to ignore it, but I always think about this game. I remember how shocked those that were here. I know a few years were, but remember how fucking shocked we were with this. Couldn't believe it. 6-1 in the first set, 7-5 in the second, 6-4 in the third in the US Open last year. You wouldn't believe it. You'd have never believed it if someone had told you that happened. Admittingly, both times before that, I mean, especially last time they met on the indoor hard court was in Basel 2022. Easy work for Alcaraz, 6-4, 6-2. Now, he obviously wins. He obviously wins. I'm not touching him at 1.07, like, obviously not. But I think it was yesterday, I weren't too sure he was playing, so, like, all the order of play was fucked up, so Alcaraz was -4.5 at around 1.75. It was good enough. And I seen it and I thought, oh yeah, that's me. And I've just checked before I've done the video and it's now 5.5, so he probably does cover it. He is that guy, it is Alcaraz, but I always say, don't I, 5.5 games is a lot, especially in a best of three. I feel like I'd be rather hypocritical to go against me word, although you've got to agree with me that I feel like Alcaraz and Sinner are usually the exceptions on that rule, aren't they? But yeah, 4.5, I would have took it all day. 5.5, that probably still comes in. I'm not as confident taking the 5.5 as I was with the 4, but I couldn't talk it off it. I really couldn't. He'll do them in straight sets, I'd imagine. And then finishing us up in Rotterdam before we go over to the States, we've got probably the most interesting one of the day, in my opinion. We've got Lorenzo Sonego coming up against Holger Rune. Now, the head-to-head is 2-0 to Holger Rune. Haven't played each other since 2022. Both of them coming on the indoor hard court, 2-1 both times to the Dane. Sonego was good in the Australian Open, really. He was really good. Such a good save. That save was perfect for the majority of it. Who did he beat? Stan Wawrinka, Joao Fonseca. Remember that? Remember that? The big upset there, even though it weren't exactly an upset. He played good against Fonseca, played even better against Fabian Madison, played even better against Lena Tien. Unfortunately, ran into our Benny boy in the quarterfinals and just didn't quite have what it took to get past him. Holger Rune, when did we see him? Third round, was it? Yeah, he got beat. Well, got beat by Yannick Sinner in the round of 16. Well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about that? Nothing. Stands no chance. He looked fairly shaky against Zhang in the first round. He looked a lot better against Matteo Berrettini in the second round. He looked quality against him. I was very, very concerned in that game. Then when we took him against Kekmanovic, we were waiting for a parlay and that was the last one, and oh my god, 3-2 went pretty much right to the end, and he was struggling with it, weren't he? He was really struggling with it. Funny enough, he just beat Kekmanovic 2 days ago in the Davis Cup, straight sets. He has got a recent game under his belt. We haven't seen Sonego since the 22nd of last month. Obviously going to be rested. Best of three. If this was a Grand Slam setting, I'd have just went Holger Rune all day. That form of Sonego really worries me. Coming up against Holger Rune, we know what he can be like. We know inconsistency flows through him from time to time, and I worry that if Sonego can just get that save off enough, he may be able to just keep it close enough to it. I think it's 2.5, maybe. He'd be lucky to get 3.5, but let's just say it's 2.5. You could definitely make an argument for him keeping that close, you know. You definitely could. Holger Rune, I've seen flashes where he looks really good. He looks a lot more solid, but then he doesn't, and then he does, and he doesn't. But you know, such is the story of Holger Rune, innit? I was going to go for him today, but I've talked myself off it. I've got, as you probably know already, I've got another parlay. I've swapped him out for someone else, and we'll get to that in a sec. But I was sure that Holger Rune was going to win. And the more I think about it, the more ways I can sort of find that he won't, or he'll struggle enough to maybe just put in a snide set or put in a snide game and he just can't break back. I don't know. We shall see. It's the first round. I'm just going to sit and wait anyway. 1.4. I don't think that's worth. That's not a price I'm willing to pay to risk Holger Rune fucking my parlay up. So I wish you the best of luck with yours. If you're taking him, it would be Holger Rune. And then touching on Dallas really quick before we wrap up. Tommy Paul, Jensen Brooksby. Come on, heads to heads 2-0 to Tommy Paul. He's never dropped a set to him. He's never really come close to dropping a set, and I don't imagine he will today. Tommy Paul's had a really good start to the season. He's only been beat by Felix in Adelaide. You know, he won the title there, and then got beat by Zverev in the Australian Open. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Jensen Brooksby, you know, he can't beat JJ Wolf. He's struggling to beat JJ Wolf. He has just been beat by Taylor Fritz, and he got beat by, wouldn't you know it? That's not Tommy Paul. Is it? That is Tommy Paul, isn't it? No. What? Who the fuck's this? Sorry. Yeah, the last time I'm getting confused. Of course, he had the season off, didn't he? It was JJ Wolf and then Taylor Fritz, the Australian Open. Then the last time he played here, according to this, is the Australian Open 2023 against Tommy Paul. Would you know it? Yeah, easy. Dead easy. Take Tommy Paul in straight sets. Can't go wrong with that. It's 1.1 currently. Cam Norrie is playing Alex Michelsen. Alex Michelsen is currently the number 7 seed over in Dallas. He's 1.4, 1.45. As a favourite, Cam Norrie is around a 2-1 underdog. And as much as I'm not going to say it pains me to, because I like Alex Michelsen too. This isn't like I don't see this as like a rivalry thing. Like I want Cam Norrie to win. I don't think he's going to. I'm aware of the level of Cam Norrie, and I'm also aware of the level of Alex Michelsen, especially over in America. These guys tend to play a lot better than, I'm not going to say a lot better than what they do anywhere else, but there's most definitely a little something extra there, isn't there, you know, along with the crowd. I really like Alex Michelsen. He's really grew on me over the past season or two. I weren't the biggest fan. I'll hold my hands up and say that. Those will remember. Never the biggest fan. I always seem to have never get it right with him, but I cannot deny the improvements this lad has made over the last year. Fantastic. I would be more than happy to take Alex Michelsen against Cam Norrie tomorrow over in Dallas. 1.4. Why the fuck not? It was going to be Holger Rune, but I'm just letting you know that now. I feel like I'd trust Alex Michelsen to get this done against Cam Norrie in Rotterdam. I really do. Although, excuse me, apologise. Yeah, Cam Norrie ain't been too good. That game against Facundo Diaz-Acosta was very, very, very concerning. He also got beat by Matteo Berrettini. Alex Michelsen was really, really good in the Australian Open. If you're good enough to beat Tsitsipas and you're good enough to beat Kachanov, I'd say you were good enough to beat this version of Cam Norrie. I really would. Beat Sonego in Auckland. You ended up getting beat by Basaveretti in Auckland. You know, you got beat by De Minaur, but I don't know. De Minaur smoked him last time they played, so I feel like he may have just been running on a little bit empty there. 1.4, I've got no problem with it. I really haven't. Cam, I'm sorry, but I just don't think you get this one done. I really don't. I think Michelsen is going to be a little bit too much for you. And same goes for this one. We've got Alexander Vukic and Ben Shelton. Ben Shelton, 1.2. Going to go full Team America today, boys. Last time out, we've seen Ben Shelton against Yannick Sinner in the semi-finals of the Australian Open. Say less. Say less. Got it done against Binach, looked really good. Done it against Carreño Busta, looked fantastic. Got it done against Musetti, equally as fantastic. Got what was essentially a walkover against Monfils. Got it done in the first set, and then looked really, really good against Lorenzo Sonego, who, as we've just mentioned, was banging form for the Grand Slam. It's unfortunate he bumped into Sinner in the semis, isn't it? Really unfortunate, but oh well, what are you going to do? Seen Vukic have a close one with Jack Draper, a very, very injured and banged up Jack Draper, mind you, but good game nonetheless. He did beat Sebastian Korda before that, but Korda's had some question marks surrounding his fitness too. Ain't really been that good. Didn't beat Marcus Garon, didn't beat Grigor Dimitrov. What am I doing? What the fuck? What am I talking about? Ben Shelton wins this, doesn't he? He's already beaten once before on the indoor hard court. That was in the Challenger Tour in 2022. 2-1. Vukic bageled him in that. I imagine Ben Shelton has came on so fucking much since then. I would be willing to bet you he gets this done in Dallas against Vukic. Shelton's going to get through the first round at home. I'd imagine him to anyway. I know Vukic has got a big save, but so Shelton. I feel like Shelton will be able to be a little bit better on the return. I trust his fitness more than anything as well. So give me our Ben on that one. And then finishing us off is another one who I just don't trust. We've got Casper Ruud, Marcus Garon. Head to head is 2-1 to Casper Ruud. Ruud beat him in Los Cabos last year, 6-1, and then bageled him. Fucking hell, that's bad, that, innit? Winning one game in a best of three, that's embarrassing, that. But nonetheless, I mean, it's Marcus Garon, innit? What do you want me to say? He's just a 50-50 player, isn't he? He's a 50-50 player. Does tend to play a lot better in his home tournaments. I will give him that. He really does. Casper Ruud, no one. You're looking at his records, you go, well, he's only been beat by Mensik. He got beat by Rublev, but I just don't trust him on the hard court. I don't. 1.67, we'll call that 1.7 at Pinnacle, if anyone's got that. That's really good. That's really good. You know, if you look at the rankings, you don't need me to tell you, but ranked 5th in the world, ranked 41 in the world, Casper Ruud should be getting this one done. I feel like they're begging you to take him, especially at that price. Ask yourself this, would you be surprised to see Marcus Garon beat him tomorrow on the hard court? Yes and no. It's a strange one, innit? But it's not worth... I'm not going to bother with it. I'm really not. Wouldn't be surprised to see Garon take a set. You know, Ruud just beat Echeverry, straight set. He beat Navone. You know, they love the clay just as much as he does, don't they? Marcus Garon a little bit more suited to the surface. I'm not going to lie. I'm not expecting Marcus Garon to win. He shouldn't be winning. But he very well just might. You never know. You can't write it, can you? But so I'm not going to bother with that one. I feel like we've covered the majority of the good shit there. So then, thought it was only going to be a quick one, touching on 20 minutes, right? I do apologise, folks. I'm going to be saying good night to you then. I kind of misjudged these time zones over in Dallas, so I'm going to try and get these videos out a little bit earlier. I've got to wait for the order of play to come out. It doesn't come out till about 10 PM over here, so as soon as I get that, I will try my best to get sorted and get these videos uploaded. But right, take it easy. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. Anyone still watching, only need over 10 subscribers, so you know what to do. I'd appreciate it if you got involved. Okay then, let me know what you're going for. Double is pinned in the comments. Yeah, it's in the pinned comments. You know what I mean. It's getting late over here. I'm going to get off and wrap this shit up, folks. See you in a bit. Let's go get that cash today. See you tomorrow.